obviously just wanted to discuss a couple of topics with you, see what's your perspective on it, and yeah, based on your experience, obviously. So maybe we could start with the IT market now. How is it? Has it changed recently? What's your thoughts? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so I'm freshly, like we discussed in summer, right, about my position joining UGS, and then I was looking for a job. So yeah, but in the same time, that was in the summertime. So I'm not sure if that's the summer is just bad choice for looking for a new job, or that we are maybe in I'm not gonna say the crisis, but the number of job offerings is like lower. Maybe not the offerings, but the response for the applying, right? It's lower. Previously, it was at least for me. I had more offers and more people contacting me via LinkedIn or otherwise. Right now, for me, it's like more stable. It's not that frequent. That's my yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, do you think more recruiters are contacting you or less than before?
Less, definitely less.
Less. Okay, that's interesting. Paweł, maybe you have an idea. Would you like to add something?
Well, yes, I would like to add two things. First, for Jarek, I think the summer is the worst possible time because people are on holiday. So there is probably not that many people that can talk with you. So I think the summer is the really bad choice. And I also see when I was like doing some recruitment, not that much, but I did some, it was always like scheduled outside of the summer, because there was like, even if you decide on the candidate, that usually there is no person who could sign the contract, because usually you don't sign, you just do the recruitment. And about the job market, well, I can see there are bunch of layoffs, especially in the US, maybe not so much in Poland, but also there are some companies firing even more than it used to be. But if I look at my contacts via LinkedIn, I think I have more this year than the last year. Maybe because I started registering them and putting them through ChatGPT to get some data out of it. So maybe that I'm more aware of the number of requests, but I have, I don't know, like 20 this year already. So I don't know if it's many or not, but at least I get some contacts being done via LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, definitely I think summer is not the best period 100%, because everybody is away and then they're coming back and then they decide that they're not interested anymore, you know. So summer is not the best period, let's put it this way. But yeah, and also as you mentioned, Paweł, in US now, I feel they are having a lot of cost cuts at the moment. So not sure why is that. Maybe another crisis approaching, but yeah, let's see. So hopefully the market will resume and grow before the end of the year. So yeah, so that's what I think.
Not sure about the end of the year. I think more will happen next year. I think it's still this year will be slow, or yeah, not so much change. At least this is my impression. Maybe next year will be better.
Yeah,
I will make some tests, like the dry run. I will send some CVs and just we'll see for the replies, like January, February.
Okay, yeah.
And see if I have more responses.
That could be interesting also, because companies starting their new financial year, so obviously they would be more interested and yeah, more happy to hire new people. And yeah, so what else I just wanted to ask, maybe if you like, maybe for you, what have been the most significant like technologies and innovations that have come into the market? For instance, Paweł, you mentioned ChatGPT. Maybe that could be interesting, or something similar to that, in your opinion.
Well, ChatGPT and in general generative AI, I think, is quite substantial change in the market or in the technology that happened recently. I think it got worse now than it was used to be when it was introduced. So it was mind-blowing the first time I saw how ChatGPT or like Midjourney or some other AIs could generate. Right now, I have a feeling it's a bit trimmed down, let's call it like that. So I think they just were maybe too scary to unleash all the powers of AI and then just turn the knobs down on the what AI can generate. But still, I think the AI was the thing that changed the IT landscape, let's call it like that.
I need to ask why. Like, why do you feel that it's getting worse?
Well, this is my impression. So I'm not saying it is. This is just impression. So maybe I just used to it already.
Yeah.
And at first, like when I just was the first time I was trying ChatGPT, it was like, wow, it can do a lot of stuff, and it's mostly okay. Now I have a feeling that it is less and less okay, and I have like really need to pay attention what it generates. And of course there are tasks like, I don't know, if I ask some, I don't know, life related questions, there's mostly okay, but if you try to do some technical stuff, I think it's not so good.
Okay, so you mean content wise it's getting worse?
Well, content, yes, but it's like you know, it's still generating content, right? And it can produce like 5 paragraphs of nonsense. So I think
that's
before
true.
it was like a bit better. It was maybe like 3 paragraphs were okay and only 1 was a nonsense stuff. And now it's like reverse. But again, this is just impression, so it might not be true. And this is, I don't have any data to prove it. It's just how I feel using the ChatGPT.
Okay, I see. And just a bit driving away from the topic, do you think it would actually replace some position roles, people? What do you think about it? Just out of curiosity.
Well, some, yes. I don't think we should fear about that it will replace all the jobs.
Yeah, that was mainly the question.
yeah. So I don't think it will. Of course, like I'm not some kind of like a future analyst that can say what will happen, but I think it will be just a tool. So the same as we have like a IDE, Visual Studio Rider, that's like years ago you didn't have that. You had to type in Notepad or something else. Then you, in the future, you will have ChatGPT, but it will not replace. It will just be a helpful tool. This is just my feeling, but we'll see.
Yeah, sounds good. And also, do you feel now that you are more inclined towards companies that are using Gen AI tools, or it doesn't really matter for you? Like recently, we also started receiving a lot of jobs, for instance, from our clients asking for candidates to be aware and to know how to use like Gen AI tools and so on.
Yes.
So I was wondering if this is more interesting for you, or you don't really mind.
It's I would say like that. If you don't know, if you are a software developer and you are not using AI as a boost for the productivity, then you will lose it, because there's a tons of work that the AI can do for you, and it's like a matter of seconds. Otherwise, you would have to do that manually and just think about that. So I'm right now doing some translation from one language to different language, and I don't have to think about that very hard. I just say it like it makes sense, and I use it. And my opinion is like, we have to, this is the new tool on the market, and we have to use it. Otherwise, we'll fall behind. That's my, so it's good that the company is asking for that, because that's basically your one of another tool in the tool belt. So if you don't use it, you lose it. That's my feeling.
Sounds good. And how do you think the companies are balancing now between the new tools and the existing tools?
That's difficult because some of the companies are afraid, right, that the intellectual property will leak. As for me, I'm sorry for being ignorant, but most of us, we don't do super secret stuff thingy. Most of the IT job is basically copying the data from database and displaying that on the web page. So there is not that crash most of the time. And the other stuff they produce AI tools. So they are the super thingy stuff. So they don't use it because they are that smart. For us, the regulars, I would say, yes, please, or yes, you have to. Otherwise, like you lose it again. I'm saying the same, but that's my thinking. But I think you can also, sorry, Paweł. I think there's already some tools that you can have like AI on premise, or like just separated from the Hive, from the AI or the open AI environment. So you can say, I think Azure introduced that you can have your own AI that will not share the data that you're sending to the AI, so no one else can use that knowledge. So there are ways.
Yeah, I think the problem is not with like the AI itself, it's like leaking the data, and it's not the code. I think the companies are worried. It's more like the customer data that it will leak. There was
by
already
accident, yes.
Well, by accident or by not knowing that it will leak if you just send something to AI. And as you mentioned, I don't know about Azure, but chat, like the OpenAI has this option that I think you can exclude your prompts from being used for analysis. And I think the Copilot also has this, that it can not use this data to generate. But still, you don't know what, I mean,
exactly.
This check button might not do anything really. It's just like UI.
Like the elevator button, right?
Yes, like the closed door in the elevator. It might just, you have a good feeling that you press it and you think that it closes quickly. But so I think that's the problem for companies. And I think I probably share the same opinion. I think we should use it, but on the other hand, I think that companies should not just rush to use it. I think it should be a deliberate choice, and some analysis should be done. Of course, it should not take like 2 years to analyze if we can use it or not. A bit more faster, but still, I think it should be a considerate choice. As for your question, I would not pick a company if it would say I can't use it. That's not like a thing I look for in job offers, at least at the moment. Maybe in the future I will, but for now,
it's not a blocker, right? You still can use Stack Overflow or some other helpful sites. This is just a nice booster.
It's just nice to know probably that the company is staying up to date and keeping up with the latest trends and technologies, and they are kind of looking into the future, probably, in my opinion. Then I think
it's good. It's good to know.
Well, so, and then what do you think could be other technologies maybe emerging in the next couple of years, or like just out of the blue, maybe your kind of predictions, or maybe you've thought of it before?
I have one. I already told Paweł about this. So I recently got my Quest 3 from Meta. And I think the augmented reality, virtuality headsets are gonna be the thing that you will have. No longer we will need probably the screens in front of us. We will just have the Googles, and the amount of space that you can use and work with or work on is amazing. And then I think there's gonna be a good thing. And now it just pops to my mind, like when we work from home, right? We are alone. And sometimes there are just people who just like to sit each just next to each other. So you can have like virtual table that you actually do not interfere with others. Like you are relatively quiet, but you can see other people, and you can very simply just poke them and ask for support. So there's not, you don't have to chat, ping them by text or just call them. You can just, just basically poke them the VR, and they will get this like notification that someone is trying to get your attention. So we are still focusing, working from home, but in the same time we are sitting in this virtual spot, the place, right? I think that's something that can probably will be. I'm hoping for that. That's something. And so in the same time, like when you are sitting in the next to each other, you don't have to see each other's screens. So you are not bothered by the flashing thinking, because this is gonna be displayed to you. You will see that's the impression that someone is working, and it's up to you. It's up to the system, that amount of the data that you will share, right? So I can have a gazillion of screens in front of me, but Paweł will see just one display.
Wow, this is brilliant. I would never actually think about it, but now I want it.
Yeah.
I also want it. I only tried the Quest 1, and it was not the experience I would like to yet. So maybe the Quest 3 will be.
Maybe not 3.
Or maybe next one, because I still think it's too heavy for the heads. Like the Quest 1 was like very low resolution, so the quality of text was not good, and it was heavy on the head, so you could like sit, I don't know, if you would really try 2 hours maybe with it, and then you are just tired, really tired. So but maybe with some future technology it will be possible. But on the other hand, I already seen like Google glasses. I don't know if you remember, there was like 2000, I don't know, 7, 8, or maybe later, and it was like this future technology that we will now use in everyday life, and killed by Google. So we'll see, but maybe before you mentioned Quest, I was actually going to say quantum computing, but I think I also want the augmented reality thingy.
You like the augmented reality more?
Well, I mean, quantum computing is interesting, but it doesn't have this visual effect that augmented reality, again, I remember the Microsoft demo when they introduced the HoloLens. It was also like mind-blowing. That's what they showed. So it has this visual aspect that quantum computing doesn't have. So it's just like a
But what the glasses lacks is the power, right? The processing power. So if the quantum computing will hit, right, the glasses can have like more power. So it's like more process on your head, on this tiny thing on your head. So by combining of two,
maybe you combine the two.
yeah, exactly. That would be super nice.
But then what risks could then lead, like what
more
risks
isolation
can
of the
be
people.
with? Yeah.
I think I already saw some funny images. Like in the USA, someone walked to the McDonald's or something, having the Quest 3 on the head with the augmented on, and he was just ordering something to buy or eat something. Yeah, but so like there's some people trying how far they can push the boundary, right, of the augmented reality. And also, before 3, there was this guy who was living with the augmented reality, like for 24 hours without just taking them off, just switching probably just the headset, and he survived somehow. So now there is this beacons, right, of the technology that can say what human body can deliver, right? And how much can we sustain us living in the virtuality. The only thing, the danger is just the separation, right? Like in the Player One. You guys remember that movie?
Yes.
I don't.
Victoria? There's a future film that basically everyone lives in the virtual life. They have all this the full suit, but basically you have all the feedback, and the life, the reality is like shitty, but in the VR you can be anything. So there are some persons from the games, like cats, whatever you like, and they all went there to live. So I think that's the only danger I can see right now. Or Matrix, or the actual Matrix. I don't know.
Or Wall-E.
Or Wall-E, yes, that's also an option.
Okay, this is really interesting. I wouldn't think about it myself, but now I do know I want it, but I also do want to know what kind of risks could happen with using them. But yeah, I think we will find out eventually in a couple of years, couple of months. Let's see what the trend in the market will bring us. Okay, well, to be honest, I wanted now to move to a remote working subject. So we did discuss a bit trends. That was interesting. And you also mentioned, obviously, you both, me as well, we are all remote workers, right? So obviously this has changed recently. So I just wanted to see if you feel that companies have adapted this in a good way. I mean, did you have good experience with being a remote worker? Were you included into companies' activities and so on?
I can share my experience.
Yeah, that would be great.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have been working remotely even before it was cool. So long time ago.
And being a hipster as well, right?
Yes. So, and I can see it changed because, well, when I started, it was like I was the only remote worker, and the other people were, just regular employees in the office, and you could feel that you were missed at sometimes. So like they organized a meeting and forgot to send you an invite, and then you find out, okay, there was a meeting that no one sent you an invite. And also the equipment was not that good. There was usually audio quality issues, not to mention video was not even considered to be just streamed. So I think that changed a lot. So right now it's a really good experience. Of course, there are some problems, smaller or bigger, with this equipment, but I think in most cases it's being managed. So I can tell it's changed a lot, and a lot of company adjusted, and I think it's a good change, of course, for me. But in general, I think it gives more possibilities for people to work, and also for workers to work for companies that previously were not available because they were like at the different end of the globe.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Obviously, it was interesting to hear what it was before, what remote working was before it was it became a trend.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And Jarosław, did you wanted to add something, or do you agree?
I totally agree. And no, I'm not that remotely old as Paweł is. I used to go to the office before COVID, and I did enjoy that. But then COVID hit, and I'm safe like up to 2 hours of commuting. So no way, I'm not going to the office back. But what Paweł said and what Hanselman Scott said very, very often, he says that remote first is that, and I agree with you guys, 3 of you, that whenever there's on-site work, the remote guys will always be like
second-class citizen. Yes,
exactly. Yes, exactly. Because it's just easier to speak to the guys who sit next to you, and then there's just one camera, right? That's recording the whole room. So that's always shit.
Not the best experience. Yes.
But do you think the companies are at least like trying to include the remote workers in, for instance, daily activities, daily company life?
But then it's if there's just like one Paweł, right, and then the whole team, and this is something that hits me, that the whole team sits in the room, but they are all on the headsets because of Paweł. And this is just an example, right? So instead of talking to each other, we have to call in the other guy. That sucks, but this is how. That's why we are basically making the step towards the remote guy, because he is also important. So that's good, right? Previously, we just sent him minutes and send him think about what we did and what we'll do. Now we're just focusing, yes, please bring this other guy because he's also important and he's also a team member.
Yeah, I completely agree with it, and yeah, it is a good transition. Let's put it that way.
But
and
sometimes funny, right?
Yeah, well, especially if the connection is a bit falling behind, or the video is not connecting, and you need like 3 minutes to connect.
True.
Yeah, so obviously the benefits of this, it's we don't commute anymore, we can work from any part of the world, we can bring literally anyone on our team. But then what do you think are the main challenges of remote working in your opinion?
The relationship, that's the word that we lack, and this is something that I rise from time to time within the companies I work with, but still no one, at least for me, no one figured out yet how to make a good relationship across the remote team.
Maybe with the augmented reality.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I can raise it. So to the stakeholders, please buy for all of us the Quest 3, so that we can work together.
Or the Apple Vision Pro.
Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, I don't have it. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So augmented reality will change the remote working process.
Hopefully.
Let's see about that. Okay, Jarosław, I think it was really interesting for me to speak to you. To be honest, I think I would have stayed here for another hour and speak about the trends and how it's gonna change and so on. So yeah, I obviously wanted to just see if I know that you have your podcast OstraPila, and
very nice.
Yeah, thank you. And is it helping you is it just for your hobby, or is it kind of building your personal brand for hiring and so on?
Well, for me, I think we are doing it, or maybe I'm doing it as a fun thing, but I also do hope that it does build something for me. I don't know if it builds like a image of professional developer, but at least it gives an impression that I like to share knowledge.
That's interesting. That's good. I was just, to be honest, that was just my question. I was just wondering if if this is for you or more for business. So yeah, well, obviously, thank you very much, and thank you for joining me today in the evening in your free time. Really appreciate you joining and to sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jarosław.